Yeah, online participants, can you hear me? My name is Balraju. They're able to hear me. Shikar, can you confirm whether you are able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Your voice is clear.
Can you see the chat, sir, whether they're able to hear? Yes, thank you. Good evening, all the teachers who are joining the session online and in person also. We have a lot of teachers here. We are in the venue called Madras Management Association. Uh, Sir, did you start the recording, sir? Can you enable recording? Yeah.
I- Is it okay? I
Yes.
put it on. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I'll quickly take 2 minutes to introduce Professor LSG here. And so yesterday I met, my name is Balraju. I'm also one of the organizers for this training program. I represent both IIT Madras Pravartak and both Bridge. And briefly about LSG, I thought I'll introduce. And yesterday before we started this session today, I met him to discuss about the session today. He said, I can't teach classroom management from online, computer. He said, I want to teach classroom management in classroom. I said, we should have a classroom. Then we thought, how can we have students who are interested in this session? Then we found out how many are registered from Chennai. Then we got a classroom immediately. He called out Madras Management Association team. Fortunately, they immediately said, we will, host you here. That's how we are in Madras Management Association building. And fortunately, we also have participants who said from Chennai, we are ready to come to the class within 6 hours or 10 hours notice. Thank you all for joining this session. So what LSG told me is it's better we teach classroom management from the classroom, not from the computer. That's how we are in a classroom today. And very happy to have all the participants, especially the teachers and faculty members, and LSG here. And I also welcome all the online participants. Anyway, it will be same like any other course. We will be there to help you in the chat. But while we do that, LSG, you will be able to see him in classroom. That's how we are streaming now. Thank you all for joining the session. And before I give it to LSG, briefly about LSG. LSG was a faculty member in IIT Madras. He was in the Department of Management Studies for more than 3.5 decades. After that, he retired. He joined, as Vice Chancellor of IIT University, Hyderabad. Recently, only he came to Chennai. That's why we fortunately have him in person. Otherwise, last 3 years, it was only virtual. I used to go and meet him only in Hyderabad. And little more about what he does in classes. He doesn't take attendance. The only motivation is to listen to his class. People will come. So as a student, I'm telling you that feedback. And I've seen many students don't want to miss LSG's class because classes are interesting. And the most interesting part is his exam. Most of them are open book exams. He doesn't conduct no closed book exams, and exams can go anywhere between 10 hours to 15 hours some days. Somebody can write for 18 hours, 20 hours. So difficult part is, open book exams are more difficult.
I've allowed even 2 weeks.
2 weeks also he gave. So because his problems are not on internet or, it's not easily, possible to answer the question paper. And he was also Dean of Students, very, very friendly professor. But many students think, oh, it's very, very easy to talk. We can get our assignments done. He gives more time, but doesn't compromise on merit. That's interesting. Many children or students will know slowly when they get to see him more. He doesn't compromise on merit, but he'll become as flexible as possible to give more time for the students, but not easy on merit. So that's very interesting observation because I used to think, okay, he'll be a little relaxed, but I know many students have taken months to get their, scores done because they haven't submitted their assignment. Obviously, he gave time, but they shouldn't misuse the time that, they got from sir. And with this brief introduction, over to LSG. I've been a very happy student, for almost like 21 years. I know him from the time I came to IIT. From 2005 onwards, I've been interacting with him. With him, still I'm a student. Yesterday, he told we have to do a classroom. I had to do it. No other option. That's how, he has impact on me. Over to LSG. Thank you, sir. I think you don't need this. I am assuming all of you are able to hear me. I'm anyway going to read chat for all of you who are looking at online. I'm going to be there available on chat. Anything, I'm going to ask questions also to LSG. But you can post your points on chat. Over to LSG.
Okay, first, let me greet all of you. First, the Tamil greeting, Vanakkam. The national greeting, Namaskar. Okay. And a good day to all of you. I keep telling people, don't say good evening, good afternoon, because the day lasts 24 hours. So you're still good enough for a good day. Okay. And I'm very grateful to Balraju for having called me in for this session. He's been doing a lot of programs, and very happy that several of you are online. Okay. And I'll be very happy to interact with you in some other way also. I'll leave my email ID later so that we can keep in touch also. Okay. I must express my gratitude to Madras Management Association, Group Captain Vijay Kumar, who's downstairs right now, and Captain Venkatraman is also here, distinguished officers of the Indian Armed Forces. Okay. So, and all of you know that MMA is a remarkable management association. If I'm not mistaken, they got the best managed association for about 15 years continuously. So we are all very proud that such an association is helping us with this program. And this happened within a matter of about 20 minutes of discussion. I just mentioned to Group Captain Vijay Kumar, he said, okay, I'll check whether we have the place. And within 20 minutes, he called back and said, Venkat will call you. So that's the responsiveness of Madras Management Association. So all the pleasantries are there. I'm very grateful. But first, let me begin with something serious in classroom, and actually more to do. Classroom management is a very specific context of education. So I believe that we should have the big picture intact, because once you have the big picture intact, it's easier for you to sort of zoom logically into the finer and more nuanced aspects of education. Okay. So I'm going to pose a question, but I'll give an answer also, because we can't afford to spend too much of time in waiting for answers. Okay. Will you eat your food in your toilet? I'm sure you're going to say no. Are you getting it? Will you do your toilet in your kitchen? Obviously no. Okay. But why am I posing this? The reason is very simple. Purpose. We have defined the purpose actually very clearly, and we try to conform to the purpose that we have defined. The kitchen has a purpose, the toilet has a purpose, and we don't want to violate purpose. Interestingly, having lectured a lot on ethics across the years, I must share with you one of the worst acts of adharma is when you violate your purpose. But why am I coming to adharma? It directly connected with education. Because through education, according to us, according to whatever knowledge that has come to us over centuries, is to enable the individual human being to pursue his or her dharma. I was very careful. Dharma is to be pursued, not achieved. You pursue it. How? By performing your karma. Karma is action, thought, word, and deed, basically. Okay, we start with that. I hope I'm convincing that you start with purpose. So then what's the purpose of education? I just told you. It is to enable the individual to pursue dharma by performing karma, which means your karma should be guided by dharma, should be within the confines of dharma. Okay, so that's the starting point. Now there are two contexts in which we have to understand our own lives. Context number one is our worldly existence as individuals. And this is an important context for us. We exist in the world. This cannot be denied. If somebody denies I don't exist in this world, that means they're denying themselves, which is illogical. I'll be getting into philosophy, coming back to real world, etc. Not that philosophy is not real, but you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to really think hard about the larger abstract aspects of what we are doing. That is important. Okay. In fact, very often people have asked me, LSG, what is the purpose of human life? And I've given a simple answer. It is going to connect with education also and classrooms. That's why I said big picture, then you zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay. The purpose of human life is to discover the purpose of human life. This is a very, very important point we have to understand. Which means you have to discover why you are here. Okay. And once you are here in the worldly context, I hope all of you agree, you have to act, you have to perform your karma. You don't have an option other than that. Okay. So we will now go into a deeper question. The second context, of course, is the spiritual context. So we have A, the worldly context of our existence. You and me are different. B, we have the spiritual context of existence, where actually you and me are not different. And for this, in fact, I must be thankful to Balraju, MMA, everybody. And this is a good time for me to demonstrate to you directly, experientially, publicly, evidence of what I said just now, that you and I are really not different. Okay? I'm going to take a few minutes. We'll come back to this. Can you come here for a minute? Just open your mouth. You can be there. Side. You have to answer now. Is the tip of my ballpoint pen outside him or inside him? Be very careful. Huh? Open mouth, I won't harm you. Is the tip of my ball pen outside him or inside him? Just open it, Nalla. Is it outside him or inside him? Sit down. Thank you very much. Why did your answer shift to inside? Even if you had said outside, I have a counter. But why did you say inside? Did I touch you, sir, with the pen? Even if I touched, it could have been because of my hand shaking. You got the intent. My intent was not to touch you. Somewhere the answer shifts from outside to inside. Are we clear? This is a very important point for you to notice. Which boundary did I cross? Where is the physical boundary? You imagined a boundary between his upper lip and lower lip. Physically, was there a boundary? It was there. The tip was in the air only, in space. Please note this. You know why I'm saying this? This is an important lesson that we in India have to share with the world because of a larger idea, which I'll come to shortly, the idea of Shanti, peace. Because only when you are peaceful, you can do certain things in the world. And don't forget, I started with there is a purpose for education. Briefly, the purpose is pursue your dharma by performing your karma. Perform your karma with the confines of dharma, guided by dharma. Purpose of education. You live. And why do you live? To discover who you are. What is your source? Where did you come from? Where do you go? Do we have precise answers? No. We don't have precise answers, but we have broad answers which are compelling. I hope you got it. Okay. There are some things which you could realize. I hope the demonstration was fine. In fact, very often some people have been very smart and said it's still outside. Then I asked them, then when am I inside him? I hope you got it. So I'll never be inside him then. And the beauty, you know why I did this? Are you conscious? Are we conscious? Do you have energy? Do I have energy? Do you have an ego? I have an ego. Consciousness is real. Energy is real. Ego is real. But ego is stupid. It is that thing which blocks you from understanding the truth that he and I are not spiritually differentiated. I hope this is clear. He and I are not spiritually differentiated. This should be a part of education. I hope. In fact, theoretically, I can have a point which is so small in a mathematical sense. I can define a point which is so small, smaller than the smallest pore in his body, and actually, in our worldly sense, go right inside him, travel all over, and come out with touching him. So, was I ever inside him or outside him? I hope this point is clear. Is this clear? Okay. Sure, sir. So, in spirit, you and I are not different. We are all reflections of a great universal eternal spirit. Full stop. Period. Okay. So what makes us different? Because I identify myself with the surface of my body in the skin, etc. And that identification is what we call as ego. So I see him as different from me, he sees me as different from him. But then why is it happening? Indian philosophy gives a beautiful reasoning for that also. This is happening because there's a big game which we call Leela. It's a big game that's happening in the universe. Is this a class on classroom management or spirituality? I'm going to tell you, I said two are not different, very different. You just have to switch on certain thoughts as we go along and we'll dive in. So can we cross the first one? You're clear about the purpose of education? In summary, pursue your dharma by performing your karma. Perform your karma within the guidance of your dharma. Why? To discover the purpose of your life. So education leads to three very important questions which you can ask yourself. And I'm going to descend to the classroom very fast. Okay? We'll do that also. I think we have time. We'll do that aram se. Okay? Question number one. Am I at peace with myself? It's a question all of you should ask. And a corollary question, am I at peace with the rest of the world, the rest of the universe? This is a critical question because the extent to which we are not at peace with ourselves marks the extent to which we are not educated. I hope this is clear. It sort of reveals the extent to which you are not educated. Because if you don't know how to be at peace with yourself, what is the courage with which you can say that I am educated? And naturally, shall I tell you something? On that count, I will confess, I will barely pass. I'm a very ordinary human being with a big ego. Okay. The only thing I can say in favor of myself is I am accepting openly that I have a big ego. Can I get rid of this ego? Well, that's my struggle. Am I winning the struggle? No, I'm failing more than I'm winning. Okay. Question number two. Am I holding my dignity, grace, and honor intact while I live as a human being? Because education is supposed to give you those characteristics of holding your dignity, grace, and honor intact. Don't lose that. Corollary question, am I enabling others to hold their dignity, grace, and honor intact? Fair question. Not only do you hold your dignity, grace, and honor intact, help others hold their dignity, grace, and honor intact. I hope that's not wrong, logically. Am I very heavy or is it okay? Am I moving in the right direction logically? Purpose. Are you getting it? Purpose, don't forget toilet and kitchen. Huh? Don't forget that. That's where it all starts. Because you cannot counter that. I hope you got it. You cannot counter that. Logically, you cannot counter that. Okay. Is question number one, are question numbers 1 and 2 clear to you? Peace, dignity, grace and honor, keeping. Question number 3 is connected with the purpose, dharma. Am I struggling to find fulfillment? In Tamil, we use the word mana niraivu. Are you naranja manasu, we say. Am I struggling to find fulfillment in my life every moment, every day? You can go on every week, every month, blah, 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 in my lifetime. The word struggling is very critical in the Indian context of education. Why I am stressing India is the roots of education, the concept of dharma, the concept of karma, the concept of lilai were born in this land. So there is a sanctity to what we are discussing. Okay. So as long as you are clear at this stage, we are about 20 minutes in. If you are very clear at this stage that our egos are the core of what we are experiencing in this life. I already showed you that I am actually a spirit in human form. And interestingly, I am giving you general knowledge. The latest research results in quantum physics actually tell you that even when you go to the level of a quark and gluons, the research shows that more than a very large percentage, it's almost, if I'm not mistaken, you can check it and correct me, definitely more than 95% is space, not matter. I want all of us to understand that matter is real in a worldly context, not in a spiritual context. It's very important. Connection between consciousness and matter is ego. I hope you got it. So we'll now accelerate. Now comes the question, all right. 3 questions are clear. The corollary question also should be clear now. Am I enabling others to struggle in their lives for their fulfillment? Don't forget, all the greatest souls you can identify with on this planet did exactly that. You can start very early in recorded history, Gautama Buddha, and come down to Lord Jesus. I'm telling this because religion as we practice it is stupid. As we practice it, I'm not talking of the philosophical concepts. Because philosophy means you have to go back to peace. Okay? By the way, please share this with others also. It's not just for you in this classroom management session. We're going to dive in. Please hold on. Okay? So the 3 questions are also clear. Purpose, 3 questions as to what we are doing, okay, and why we are doing. Now comes the practical question. Why do we do what we do? Why are you sitting here? Why am I here? Why is the cameraman there? Why is Sir sitting here? Why is Captain Venkat sitting here? Why? Now here I'm going to take you to a model which I call the 6S framework. Okay, I'm not going to write it. You can note it. It's called the 6S, alphabet S for sugar, the 6S framework. And this framework is going to answer the question, why do we do what we do? Which means worldly purpose. I hope you got it. Which means you can directly connect it with education. I hope I'm clear. Okay? Because education is the process through which a conscious being is taken through, human being. By the way, can you educate animals? Yeah, to some extent, yes. We all know dogs can be trained. Some other animals can also be trained, educated, within quotes. Okay. So, but I'm going to talk of the human context, you and me. Okay. So there is a process that happens, which we are going to now outline. But in order to help us understand that, I'm going to talk about the 6S framework, which is an answer to the question, why do we do what we do? Okay. And education should be a facilitator in enabling you to work on the framework. I hope you understand this. Because that framework reflects the game of life that you and I play. Every human being plays his or her game of life. Leelai, game. Of course, I use Tamil words, Leelai. Probably in Sanskrit or Hindi, you will say Leela. And don't forget, ego is the manifestation of another concept called Maya, Mayai. So that you understand the whole game. And don't forget the tip of the pen and him. Huh? Because that's hard evidence for you. And it's direct public evidence. You challenge me, let's get on with the game. Okay, I will be very happy to engage in the game with you. Okay, now the game starts. Why do we do what we do? These are 6 words that begin with the alphabet S. Okay, and they come in sequence. So can you guess obviously, when I'm asking the question, why do we do what we do, there's a parallel question which reflects this perfectly. Which means I'm trying to attempt an answer to the question, what are the basic aims of my life? Do you agree with the logic? The moment I'm asking the question, why am I doing what I'm doing, I'm actually asking the question, what are the basic aims of my life? Okay. So what is the first English word that starts with the alphabet S, which defines your first basic aim? Come on. So here I'm going to use the board. Basic aims of humans. I'm just drawing the outlines of the framework. Okay. I'll explain everything to you. So what's your first basic aim? Absolutely. Thank you very much. Ma'am, your name? You had said survival. Your name, ma? Soundarya, ma'am. Thank you very much. And here everybody for me is a professor. Huh? So Professor Soundarya, I'm going to treat you. I'm treating you, Professor. What's your problem? Okay. So Professor Soundarya says the answer is correct. She said the first basic aim is survival, which is logically correct because you're going to say, first let me survive, then we'll talk about other things. If I'm not surviving, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know what's happening. Are you understanding? So thank you for that. Survival. Excellent. Now I'm going to explain the 2 columns. I'll even draw one more line here to enable you to distinguish. Sorry if I'm not very geometrically correct. I have my own handshake and all that stuff, shaking hands. Now, do we agree that survival happens on 2 planes? By the way, I am answering the question, what are the basic aims of human life? Because once you answer the question, what are the basic aims of human life, you are just a step away from why are we educating? Why should students learn? The basic question. In fact, what I'm going to expose you as a teacher is to convince you that here is a framework that's going to help you answer any goddamn question in life. I hope I'm clear. Any question in your life can be answered using this framework. Because at the end, you're going to say, I'm getting educated, I'm going to learn because I have to play the game of life. I'm here, the game is on, I have to play. I hope I'm clear. So that's the answer. So I'm sort of feeding forward information to you. Okay, fine. Do you agree that survival happens on two planes of existence, PLANES, or two contexts of existence, the physical and the mental? Do you agree? The body has to survive, the mind also has to survive. Correct, sir? Okay, so I'll write that. Physical and mental. Two planes of survival. So, your first basic aim is to survive. And you have a life cycle when you're born. In a normal life cycle, when the child is born, the probability that the child should survive depends a lot on several earthly factors, including the care, tender care given in the hospital or wherever the child is delivered. Are you getting it? Typically the mother, okay, is the father not responsible? Yeah, father is responsible. But the act of birth can be done only by a woman. It cannot be done by a man. Man may be a contributor, that's all, full stop. So we have to respect women. I'm saying this because of what is happening in terms of brutalization of women in the world. I'm trying to connect, saying that education also involves that. That's part of your dharma. We have to learn to educate our children to respect our women, if not worship. Okay? Because they are engaged in the act of enabling the game to happen. I hope you got it. How can you think of the game without that? You can't even think of that. Okay? So there's a value coming in. You're clear about the physical and the mental. Right? Now we'll come to actions. Karma. What is the core action that you perform to survive? We'll talk about physical first. We'll come to the mental. What is the core action that you do to survive? Huh? Ayyo. You, first is breathing. Come on. First is breathing. You breathe. And don't forget, we are all proud recipients of a whole body of knowledge called pranayama, which is designed to teach us how to breathe deliberately, with purpose. It's not just breathing. In fact, I will challenge those, including me. How many of us can touch our conscience and say we are breathing properly? How many of us can say we are breathing correctly? You can't. I'm telling you, you can't, unless you are already doing it. Breathing. Okay? What is breathing? Quick. Do you agree? I'm going to help you. Breathing involves 4 stages. Stage number 1 is emptiness, called shunyaka. You take out everything. There's nothing in. Are you understanding? Stage number 2 is inhalation, because you're filling the emptiness with your inhaling. Okay. Stage number 3 is the fullness, kumbhaka. So shunyaka, I didn't tell you. Puraka, kumbhaka. Kumbhaka means fullness, kumbham in Tamil. Then rechaka, exhalation, emptiness. This cycle is breathing. How long you hold, how long you inhale, how much you hold fullness, how you exhale, this is the game of breathing. The sub-game of breathing in the bigger game of living. I hope I'm clear. So child is born, people around help, mother helps, and hopefully child will survive till it becomes an infant, toddler. Are you understanding? Boy, girl, blah, blah, blah. Life cycle grows, you grow, and everything happens in the game of life. And the game of life, first aim is, let me survive. Now you understand why ethically maiming somebody or torturing somebody or killing somebody is a sin. I hope you understand the logic. Because you're not allowing the person to play the game of life, which is the spiritual right of that individual. I hope you got it. All coming in now? Okay, good. What do you breathe? You're saying you're breathing, so what do you breathe? Perfectly. Air. Sometimes I get a wrong answer. People say oxygen. And I have to tell them, look, pure oxygen will kill you. So you're breathing air, which is a mixture. I'm not going to the chemistry of air, please, which all of us have been taught in 5th standard, 6th standard. Itna nitrogen, itna oxygen, this much of hydrogen. You know, now today we have to talk of suspended particulate matter, SOx, NOx, COx, etc., etc. All the pollutants, okay. Do you agree? So we breathe air. Through the process, the 4 stages which I told you, you breathe air. Great. What is air? Don't give me the chemistry, I've already told you. What is air? Fundamentally, what is air? In an economic sense, what is air? Huh? Very good. I'm very happy. Yes. In fact, if you give an exercise to your students, how many businesses run on air as the core value proposition? You just check. You'll be very pleasantly surprised. It'll run into probably billions of dollars, where air is the core value proposition. Okay, do we agree that air is a natural resource? So I'm going to use the word R. R stands for resource. And I'm going to use one more term, A-E. Stands for action experience. Breathing is an action experience all of us engage in, without exception. Clear, sir? Right now you're breathing. Even in sleep, deep sleep, you're breathing. Correct? Okay. You breathe air. Air is a resource. Air is supposed to be a free public resource economically. It's supposed to be free. I'm not going to tell you how air has got associated with price and revenues. That's a different ball game altogether. There are people, there are businesses which are running on air as the core value proposition. If you go to Delhi, I'm sure some of you are from Delhi, there are people who are selling you indoor air purifiers. You can't deny. There's a business running on air. Okay. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Correct, no? Okay. You're breathing. You're surviving. What's the next important action experience after breathing? I'm going to surprise you, probably. Some of you may know the answer. You can check with doctors also. What is the next important action experience you deliberately get into in order to survive? Come on. Huh? No, breathing is over. Huh? No, that's over. Huh? Not even water, ma. Yeah, no, that's automatic. Heart beating. I said deliberate action experience. In fact, you brought a very good point about heart beating, because that's already something you can't control. Huh? It is sleeping. You can note, the next important deliberate action is sleeping, rest. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to give you logic as to why it is true. I'm not just going to make a statement and say, leave it at that. Is that clear? Okay, very good. Okay. Then comes water. Then comes food. Are you getting it? So breathing for aeration, sleep for rest, water for hydration, and food for nutrition. This is a basic game everybody plays in the bigger game of life. Action experience. Am I clear? Now we'll come to something. I'm going to spend a little time on this first column, because once you're clear about this, the rest of it will be like that. That's why I want the foundations to be rock solid. Okay? Am I clear? And don't stop with this. Go back home and teach your children. This is the game you have to prepare them for. Your children have to be prepared for this game. India has to be prepared for this game. Pakistan has to be prepared for this game. Ukraine has to be prepared for this game. Russia has to be prepared for this game. Iran has to be prepared for this game. Israel has to be prepared for this game. No exceptions. I hope I'm clear. Fine. Now, how long will you survive without breathing? Anybody? What is the maximum extent to which you can survive without air? Okay, you'll imagine, sir, you're underwater in a swimming pool. How long will you survive? 5 minutes. Sure, sir? Sure, sir? Sir, I'm not talking, by the way, my dear friends, I'm not talking of world records. No, the correct answer is, I'm going to teach you something very interesting. Never give a straight answer to anybody, including me. Always say, it depends. I'm teaching you something very good as a teacher. Huh? Say it depends. You're logically correct, because you say you give me more information, I'll give you a more precise answer. Don't give me a general question and then expect the answer. No, it depends. So how long somebody will survive without breathing depends on the person. World record may be something. In fact, I'm telling you something. Kate Winslet, the heroine of the Titanic, she's known to have been underwater for 7 minutes. Do you think you and I will survive for 7 minutes? You'll lose consciousness. Once upon a time, when I used to be a decent swimmer, long, long ago, so long ago, nobody can say how long ago, as they say. Okay. So, it's a famous dialogue in a film, sir. Okay. So, at that time, I hit about 2 minutes. At that time. Today, believe me, I can't hit 20 seconds. I'll be coming up gasping for breath. You can test yourself. By the way, I hope you know, nobody can commit suicide by shutting their nose. It's not possible. Okay, there's no recorded thing. Okay, so, do you agree we are now measuring in seconds and minutes? Because without air, the purpose of survival is gone. Do you agree with me? You're not surviving. Now you can connect with purpose. Very critical. Purpose is critical. I told you, violation of purpose is adharma. Full stop. But define your purpose carefully. Don't say my purpose is to maim you, kill you, torture you. That is adharmic purpose because you're not allowing the other guy to play the game. I hope you got it. Now go back to the three questions. Am I at peace? Am I dignity, grace, honor? Am I struggling? You can see everything fitting in like a clean jigsaw puzzle now. I hope I'm not wrong. Everything is connected. Okay, fine. How long can you survive without sleeping? Huh? Very good. That's a smart answer. He said it depends. That's a smart answer, definitely. Okay, but you can guess an answer. Yeah, sir, I'm not talking of world records. I'm not talking of Arjuna, who was blessed with not sleeping at will. I'm talking of you and me. Ordinarily, you can check the internet, you can open up your mobile phones, check up whatever little I know I am sharing with you, whatever little I know, what is available is generally about 50 to 60 hours of ordinarily. I'm being very careful. Ordinarily, 50 to 60 hours without sleep, you start losing control over your mind. Slowly, gently. The person may not even notice it. Are you getting it? See, it's like a person with dementia may not notice that the person has dementia. Somebody else notices it. Yeah, you begin hallucinating. And ordinarily, 100 to 120 hours, you slip off into unconsciousness. Ordinarily. I hope I'm clear. We have world records running into days also. As I said, I'm talking of, by the way, one of the important lessons we have to teach our children in education, in classrooms is their ability to judge the difference between ordinary and extraordinary, common and uncommon, normal and not normal. Are you getting it? Often and rare, general and specific, exception. Are you getting it? So this is very important. Typical and atypical. Frequent and infrequent. It is human judgment. So you got another lesson in the human context, worldly context, you cannot get rid of subjectivity. I hope I'm clear. Is this clear? In a spiritual context, there is no subjectivity. Zero. Okay, so these two are important for us. Now, let's come to water. Hydration. How can you survive without water? Continuously without water at all? You will find the answer is going into a few days, after which your systems start collapsing physically till you die. How long can you go without food? Don't forget, it goes into days on end. Lord Jesus was, we all know from the Bible that he fasted for, I don't know, how long? Probably weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right, sir? 40 days means approximately 6 weeks, sir. Fortunately, I studied in Roman Catholic school, so little bit has gone. Okay. So is this clear? Now, are you going to, in terms of time, are you going to classify breathing and sleeping at the same category as water and food? Because in the first two cases, you're talking of seconds and minutes and hours. And here coming to days and weeks. So do you agree we can logically separate them in time? Agreed, sir? Logically, it's not incorrect to separate them in time. So I'm going to break these two columns into short term and long term. Short term and long term. LT is long term, ST is short term. Clear? Now, I want to ask you another question. Another action experience, physical exercise. Yet another action experience, eating chocolate ice cream. Now, are you going to give the same, are you going to attach the same level of importance to physical exercise and eating chocolate ice cream as breathing, resting, water consumption and food consumption? Have you understood my question? Will anybody do that? I'm sure if somebody says they are all equally important, you'll say, look, it's not logically acceptable. I hope I'm correct, sir. You will not give the same importance. I'm going to do another thing. I'm going to split the row into three. And I'm going to call this, I'll write here in the left side, okay. I'll put this thing. VED stands for vital, essential, and desirable. The pen, good sir, I'll just use it. The problem. I'm looking for a different kind of pen. No, even this is similar to mine. I'm looking for a different kind of pen. Not bad, I can use.
Same.
Is it the same? Oh, they gave this, so it's the same. What is yours? A gel, is it? Okay. This is good enough for me. Okay. Please note this carefully. Yeah. Please note this carefully. Pay attention. We are in the first part. I hope you understand. I'm laying a very strong foundation for teaching, learning, evaluation. Classroom. And I'm going to give you solid examples as we go along, because I know I'm fighting against time. But we'll do this. What is this object? A ballpoint pen. What is the purpose of the ballpoint pen? Amma, does the pen write or do you write? Be very careful. By the way, for those of you online, Amma is a term of respect in Tamil Nadu. You know, it doesn't mean only Jayalalitha, for heaven's sake. Any woman you can say Amma. Even a child you can say Amma. There's nothing wrong. Okay, fine. Purpose of the ballpoint pen is to enable us to write. Now I'm going to disassemble the ballpoint pen. You can imagine a different ballpoint pen. For us, it's good enough. Spring varla. Oh. The spring is not come out. The spring is not coming out. That's why I wanted a different ballpoint pen. Usually the Reynolds is a good one, but you can understand. Now, the ballpoint pen I have disassembled and I'm putting it here on the table. Or I don't know, can you see? I don't know whether they can see that part. Yeah, I can put it on the chair. I have 3 parts, actually 4. The spring is not coming out now. I have 4 parts in the ballpoint pen. Okay, in this ballpoint pen. Purpose of the ballpoint pen is to enable us to write. Okay, which part actually enables us to write? Refill. Very correct. You ask any engineer, they tell you refill is an assembly. it's an assembly. You can say actually the ink enables you to write, but ink is a fluid. You can't hold it. Are you understanding? To get the the finer writing, you need the ink to be contained in a tube. Are you getting it? So the tube, it's an assembly of a tube and a sort of metal tip which has a neck and a nozzle with a hole and a ball inside which rolls as you write to enable the ink to come out in a graduated manner. So you write. Are you clear? This is clear. Can you write without the refill? You can't. Ordinarily. Be very clear. Ordinarily. You know why I'm telling you this? Many years ago, when I was teaching design students about the 6S framework, I asked them the same question. One student said, LSG, I can write without the refill. I was shocked. I was really shocked. Of course, it's another joke that in IITs, I'm very proud of that, the attitude of the student is, boss, you come to class, I'll take you down to your intellectual underwear today. You know, but it's a joy when you interact with such students, you know, because they really challenge you intellectually. Then I asked the person, are you sure? Yeah, I'll show you. In fact, the student challenged me and said, can you define writing? So I gave a pakka definition. I said, writing is the human deliberate action of creating a visual symbol on a surface by either depositing material or removing material. Pakka definition. I'm pretty strong philosophically, so I could give that definition immediately. Okay, not that I thought of it, because obviously that was a surprise which came to me, a nasty surprise at that time, in class. Then I said, show. You know what the student did? He took out his notebook. He took out his note. No, nothing, nothing. He took this part of the pen, the body of the pen. Are you understanding? And he wrote his name. You understand? Sorry, ma. He wrote here, I've written without the refill. Now what? That was the time I had to come to this difference. I told the student, but is this how you write ordinarily? Then the student said, no. I said, be very careful in life. The framework I am sharing with you is for ordinary circumstances, not for extraordinary circumstances. In Hindi, Tamil cinema, Telugu cinema, people write with blood also. This is the fellow who murdered. We are not talking of that. Come on. Okay, we have to be very careful. Ordinary, commonly, usually, isn't it? Typically. This is very important. I hope this is a big lesson for you. Enable our people to make that judgment. Because there's a golden rule in management. Never apply the rule in an exceptional situation. Treat exceptional situations exceptionally. I hope I'm clear. Don't use the rule. It's a disaster if you use the rule in an exceptional situation. Okay. So I hope you got that lesson also. So then, now I'm going to help you. Since this is the part without which you cannot fulfill purpose of writing, we'll call this V, vital. I hope I'm clear. So any resource, action, experience, there's one more, I'll come to that. Okay, it's called condition. RAEC. RAEC. Any resource, action, experience, or condition without which you cannot fulfill purpose, impossible, is vital. Now, do you agree? Is this object vital? Do you agree we can write with the refill without this? Agree? I can hold the refill and I can write. I don't need the body. But what will happen to the quality of your writing? It will go down. The golden rule is any resource, action, experience or condition without which you can fulfill purpose but with lowered quality is essential. It's our definition. Okay, don't fight over the definition itself. I hope you got it. We have to have a common ground, so I'm defining this. You'll say, how can you differentiate between vital, essential, philosophically, aren't they identical? I say, look, it depends on the context in which you're talking of whether it's vital or essential. I'm defining now in terms of other variables. Vital, because purpose cannot be fulfilled. Essential, because without which my quality will be down, I'll fulfill purpose. Are you understanding? And in a normal ballpoint pen, the cap of the ballpoint pen is desirable. I hope you got it. Because without the cap, you can write normally with the body, but no problems. The cap helps you with added functionality. Like I can clip or, many things I can do. Thank you very much. I hope it's clear. Share this with your children. Vital, essential, desirable. Very important for us in time management. Understand what is vital, what is essential, what is desirable. Now, do you agree that we will place clean air and good sleep here? Vital, short-term, physical survival. Do you agree? Clear? Because you won't survive even in the short term. So don't even talk about the long term. I hope you understand this. Now, ordinarily, do you agree, depending on, by the way, this framework is not constant throughout your life. The way you will fill the framework when you are 15 or 20 will be very different from the same framework when you are 35 or 40. I hope you understand this. The framework is dynamic. It is adaptable to your life stage. I hope you are clear. And the logic is clear. Will you put the same values when you are 15, 20 and then 35, 40? Come on. I mean, in Tamil, nattu bolt la kind of varudhu. I'm now crossed 70. I know how many nuts and bolts have gone off my body now. I know what I cannot do. For example, one of the tests is whether you can cross your legs, sit down and get up without touching the floor. It's a test of your stability. This is a test of your stability. How long can you stay on one leg? Today I'm obviously weak. So I hope you got it. Is this clear? Do you agree? Physical exercise for many young people will come here. You can check this. You can do a survey and find out that many people, I'm not saying it is uniform for everybody. I'm not generalizing. In fact, I'm giving all of you a golden rule. Never generalize. Generalization is the refuge of intellectual scoundrels. Never generalize. You have to be very specific. That's a statistical distribution. You have to find out what that distribution is. Okay. Where will you put physical exercise? Is it vital, essential, or desirable? Do you agree without physical exercise, the quality of your survival will be affected? Not that you will die. Correct now, sir? Essential. Short term or long term? The answer is it depends. Perfect answer. Tell me who you are, what stage you are in. For some people, it is essential even in the short term because when they don't do the basic physical exercise, it can actually seriously affect their survival. Quality will go down seriously. Not death. I hope you got it. Am I clear? Beautiful. Chocolate ice cream? Now have you understood? This is the physical part. Am I clear? Okay, great. We are through. Yeah. Just 2-3 minutes. You'll come. I'll do that. Chocolate ice cream, do you agree is desirable? Now, are you clear about the physical part? There's only one more point in this. What will deadly poison in your food do to you? It will kill you. So please note, you need presence of good air. You also have to talk of absence of some RAEC. Deadly poison should be absent from your food for you to survive. So you talk of presence and absence of certain things. Are you getting this clearly? I hope you are clear. Everything need not be present. Because this is the bigger game. Purpose is this. We'll come to the mental side now. Okay. Do you want a break now, or can we just go on for a few more minutes? Few more minutes. Is that okay? People online, can we go on for a few more minutes before we give the break? Is that okay? Please just indicate it.
Answer some of the questions online.
Okay, fine. So Balraju says there's no break online. Thank you very much. I'll just take a few more minutes before we give the break for our participants here. No, we'll do that. I'm just coming to, I'm almost through this one, Balraj. We'll come to the mental side. Can you identify something which is vital for your mental survival, where the mind will be destroyed? I hope all of you agree, you would have come across on the roads of India sometimes people who are physically alive but mentally destroyed. Am I right or wrong? Now you know, you can't say only physical. Okay. Incidentally, I'm telling you, I hope he's there. My own nephew, who is now 43 years old, is a severe spastic, but he can browse the net and all. So it's what you call an intelligent mind in a disobedient body. Body is disobedient. You can't help it. Some prarabdha karmam, that being has come, that's all. But you have to live life. What do you do, sir? You have to live life. You have to support people. I told you, are you enabling others to play the game of life is a critical question. Don't stop them from playing their game of life. Okay, critical. We'll come to this. Do you agree blood flow to the brain is vital? Yeah, because in minutes you're gone. Your mind is destroyed. I hope you got it. Physically, blood flow is a physical thing, but it takes off your mind. Do you also agree that there are certain forms of mental torture which can destroy the mind? It's known. It's known that there are some forms of torture which can destroy the mind of person physically, irretrievably. I'm giving you examples. Are we clear? Now we can come to many other things here. I'm rushing now. How important is solitude for you, sir? Tanimai. How important is it for you? Vital, essential, desirable for mental survival. Very good. In fact, you gave an answer which many people say, sir, it's not vital, but I know the quality of my mental survival will go down if I don't have moments of solitude. Friendship, sir. Prayer. For you, ma'am says prayer is vital. Yeah, it's fine. For you is, Amma, we have to respect you because your life. Please understand, you are playing your game of life. Your son or your sister or brother cannot play your game of life. Your game of life is yours and only yours. Never forget this. In fact, tell your children the game of life is yours, not somebody else's. So, dharma number one for everybody is be self-caring. Take care of yourself, body and mind. Because only then you can fulfill a greater dharma of taking care of others. Remember, I told you very clearly, in life, the greater dharma for every individual is to take care of others. But to fulfill the greater dharma, you bloody well fulfill your primary dharma, which is take care of yourself first. How will you take care of others? You can't take care of yourself. I hope I'm clear. Sir, is this also clear? Friendship, solitude, prayer, listening to good music, reading a nice book, going to the beach and walking to the ocean, and saying, oh, I'm very insignificant. These are all very unique action experiences. I hope you got it. I put conditions. Can you sleep in this summer inside a closed room without a fan or an AC in Madras? Do you agree? Now you know what I mean by condition. Please note this metaphor. Cool room, warm bed, deep sleep, clean conscience. I hope I'm clear. Cool room, warm bed, deep sleep, clean conscience. Manasakshi, Antaratma. You can't violate your conscience and expect deep sleep. If you do that, I don't know what to label such a person. Must be a very special animal. Are we clear? So you need absence of mental torture. You need presence of blood flow. I hope you got it. Is the game of life for survival clear to you? Any questions at this stage? Online people, if you have questions, post them on the chat. I'll definitely come back to this. I'm just, because as I already told you, this is a critical part of the game. Once this is clear, the rest of it will be child's play for us. So now we can accelerate like that. Okay? Are we clear? Great. So now you can go for your quick break and come. Thank you very much. We're just giving the participants here a short break. You know? Yeah, great.
You can actually post your queries in the chat.
Yeah.
I'm actually reading them here.
Yeah.
I will take that mic.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can take the mic and you can read the thing. I'll just respond to them.
Yeah, online participants can post your queries in the chat. I will read out for Professor LSG. I'm just quickly reading out one. I think there's one question on how to make students listen to theory class.
Very good. Sir, I'll be touching upon this shortly. Just give me some time. We'll be coming to that answer. That's my answer. Just hold on. Be a little patient. As I told you, I'm engaging in a lot of foundation work because once you have a strong foundation, the building can be strong after that.
Yeah, and general questions on, is the session being recorded?
Yeah.
Yes, this session is being recorded. It will be available for all of you.
It's in YouTube, no?
It's on YouTube, but we'll also share with them in the Google Drive. You will get a copy of it. And tomorrow again, we have the session in the evening. We have another faculty who will teach again on classroom management. And that's another interesting topic that you will listen to. And those of you who are listening this session for the first time, these two sessions are available for free of cost. There's no cost to the session. And those of you who are interested in certification, you can register. Again, it's optional. So that's I want to say. Any other questions I want to just take? I think there are questions on how long this will be. This is there for another 45 minutes. And any other questions you can post. And this video is being recorded. So you will get the recording by tomorrow or day after tomorrow. You will get a copy of the recording. Please fill the attendance form. How to make children disciplined in internet usage 12 to 18 years old.
Excellent. We'll touch upon that.
Yes. And there is also another question on karma or dharma.
Karma?
Or dharma.
No, it is dharma and karma.
Yeah.
It's never wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never wrong. You have to pursue dharma through your karma.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir. Attendance sheet is already shared in the chat. In the Google, in the Zoom chat, please fill your attendance sheet. I think you can answer those questions, sir.
Yeah, no problems. These are okay, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
So for the other ones, as I said, we'll be touching upon all
absolutely.
that.
These two, can you answer?
This screen addiction, etc. I will share something.
Yes, sir.
I want all of us to understand one thing. I want all of the online friends to understand one thing. This is from an anecdote which is associated with Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Some rich person went to Ramakrishna. I'm telling you what I've heard. So, and said, asked Ramakrishna, I'm not able to achieve this, I'm not able to achieve this, I'm not able to control this, I'm not able to control that. So, can you help me? And apparently, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa countered that person. Can you ask your heart to beat this way right now? Can you tell your kidneys to do this right now? Can you tell your stomach to digest this way right now? And obviously the person said, no, I can't. And Ramakrishna posed a fantastic question. When you are not able to control what is inside you, why the hell are you trying to control the rest of the world? So brilliant, I would say, wise answer, actually. So basically, the point is, all of us are, you can note this, all of us are given partial control. Nobody is given full control on earth. You have partial control over what you do, your action experiences. Even breathing, how you breathe is a partial control. I did mention right in the beginning, you can deliberately breathe in a certain way to accomplish certain physical results in your existence. You can do that. Okay? Partial control. You don't have full control. And you must thank God that you don't have full control. Okay? Because that's life. Because life involves a struggle with yourself. Please note this.
There's also one more question on how to manage class, especially in lecture method for class 11 and 12 students. Please suggest some teaching methods. I think there are a lot of questions and many are interested in the teaching learning.
My dear friends,
process,
suggest specific methods that have already been experimented with successfully. Just give me some time, because as I told you, my approach is to build a very strong foundation. Once that is, and now we can accelerate. We can accelerate tremendously now. Because once the foundation is ready, we can accelerate.
And another question is on, in the Internet of Things, Internet age, how do we manage children in the class?
Yeah.
So I think this is most common problem.
Share something with you which I have done. Balraju's witness. Make students use screens in class. Have I done that or not?
Yes.
There are many ways in which you can make them use screens in class and still educate them. And specific methods we'll come to as we go along.
Yeah. Shrikar, please share the attendance sheet. Many teachers are asking for attendance sheet.
I'm available even after the session. You can tell them that.
Yeah, those of you who want to interact with LSG, we'll share the LSG's email ID in chat. You can reach out to him. I'm sure he will get in touch with you. Shrikar, please share the attendance sheet in the chat. Any other questions in the
Yeah, I just wanted to
chat?
say,
I want to take.
Since our friends are also here, my dharma is to help you fulfill your dharma. I hope I'm clear. Great.
So another question, how to prevent students from game addiction?
That's a different ball game altogether. How to prevent them from any addiction, how to make them grow as what you call as acceptable individuals, that's a very different ball game. That's what education is about. Good. We can start.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir. Because I think many are waiting for your classroom insights.
I'm coming.
I'm seeing a lot of questions online.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll come to that.
Thank you.
We'll come to that. We'll definitely come to that very soon. I'll just finish the success framework very fast now. Okay. Without taking too much of time. Very few questions to you now. Where is that thing? Where did I keep? It's here. Okay, fine. So can I take it that you're sort of getting a hang of the game that we are playing? Stage 1 in the game of life, survival. You know why also. Because you don't survive. You don't know what the hell is happening. Okay. Now, without spending too much of time, I'm taking you further down deeply. Okay. Stage 2 is stability. Again, VED, you got it. I only want you to note that all the RAEC which you put here will apply throughout the framework. Please note. I hope all of you agree You need physical exercise for body stability. Agreed or not? Okay. We are talking of physical stability and mental stability. Both. Your body should be stable, mind should be stable. Stable does not mean absolutely constant. It means that minor disturbances are okay for us. You can watch a lovely suspense movie, Drishyam, and say, aha, that's okay. That's nothing wrong with that. It's a part and parcel of your game of life. Okay, which will come. For example, for some people, for long-term mental stability, they may say watching Drishyam 3 is very important for me. For some people, they will say, if I don't watch Rajinikanth first day, first show, I'm terribly disturbed. That's okay. They're different. They are them. That's all. Okay. So this framework is individualized. You can identify who you are by filling the framework. I hope you got it. Exactly. A man said prayer is vital for her in the long term. That's okay. See, how can you say, I don't agree with you? You can say, no problems. Thank you. Let's be friends. We agree to disagree. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Good example, actually. Is stability also clear to you? The same things will come here, but please note, with higher priority. What was essential could become vital in stability. I hope you understand this. Okay, don't forget the things which we filled in already. Please don't forget that. Clean air, sleep, water, food. Are you understanding? Absence of deadly poison. So don't forget the examples. Chocolate ice cream, physical exercise. So I hope you remember the, please. I hope you remember, I hope you remember the right side also. Solitude, prayer, friendship, blood flow, absence of mental torture, all that comes there. Are we clear? Okay, great. Now let's come. You are looking at body stability and mind stability. The third basic aim is strength. Again, the 3 rows, VED, what I am saying is, all of us in our games of life genuinely seek strong, stable survival. Am I right? It is natural. It is a part of our nature. We seek strong, stable survival. Please note, these 3 basic aims are called self-referenced, value-independent basic aims. You can just note that. These 3 basic aims are called self-referenced, value-independent. You are your friends. You know you're strong. You know that you're stable. You can sort of delude yourself that you're stable. That's a different point. I'm not talking of delusion. I'm talking of actual knowledge to the extent that you know how strong the quality of your survival, you know. Others don't need to tell you. So self-referenced, I hope you got. Value independent, because there are fairly standard measures available for stability. I told you, how long can you stand on one foot? It's a mark of your stability and control. Whether you can sit down like this without touching the ground and stand up is a test of your strength. Standard things are available now. Okay, I'm just giving examples. The 4th basic aim is success. I hope you are clear. Again, VED. For example, for our session to be successful, this resource is essential. I hope you got it. The board and the pen are essential. Not that it won't be successful, but the quality of success will suffer without the board. If I ask you to imagine and draw, will you like it? Are you getting what I'm saying? So I'm giving you live examples so that you can relate to what's happening. The fifth one is superiority. VED. Don't forget this right part, huh? Resources, action experiences, conditions. All three are necessary. Don't forget cool room, warm bed, deep sleep, clean conscience. Okay. Now, beyond all this is the sixth basic aim, which I'm writing here. You can easily guess it now. Sustainability is the basic aim that cuts across all the other five. I hope this is clear. Okay? In fact, the whole world is seeking sustainability now. We have managed to mess up our world. Okay? Now, these three aims, success, superiority, and sustainability, are called value-dependent, externally referenced basic aims. In contrast to the first three, which is value-independent, self-referenced basic aims. I repeat, success, superiority, and sustainability are value-dependent, externally referenced. Why am I saying this? I hope all of you, what is success to one person could be failure to another person. You cannot mandate this is success for everybody. Yeah. Shanti or peace is success for everybody. Definitely yes. But otherwise, you are not talking of that. I hope I am clear about this. Okay. My dear friends, this is the success framework, the game of life that you and I play with resources, action, experience, and condition. Action experiences is karma. The karma that you perform with the guidance of dharma. And don't forget, first dharma is to yourself. Be self-caring. Okay. Is this clear? Now, value dependent, success. What is the value of, how do you rate success? It is dependent on the value. Is it money? Is it fame? Is it power and authority? Is it solitude? I hope you got this. So that is a value you are attaching to success. Whether it's money or solitude or fame or power and authority is. For example, in Tamil Nadu, the TVK has been successful because they have attached the success with power and authority. I hope this example is clear. But I gave a good example because I want you to appreciate that this framework can be applied at three levels of human organization. I'm not telling that here. I'm not putting it here. Level, the lowest micro level is the individual human being. You and me, all of us play the game individually. I hope I'm clear. And as I told you, you fill up what you want. The RAEC is your job. You can do that as homework. But I can guarantee once you fill up for yourself, you will get a picture of yourself. Many of my friends have told me, LSG, I didn't know I was this. But you have to do it honestly. Because if you cheat yourself, you know, garbage in, garbage out. I hope I'm clear. You give in garbage, you will get garbage out. Of course, there are circular economy where garbage in, energy out is happening. I'm not talking of that. Okay. I'm talking of the generic proverb, garbage in, garbage out. Okay. I think you got the sense. Individual human being. Level 2, social units. Units of our society. Which starts with the core family, which is husband and wife. And for general knowledge, I am telling you, in India, legally, live-in relationships are accepted. Not husband and wife, necessarily. I'm saying it because that's the core. That is the core. But I'll stay with husband and wife. Then the first nuclear family, husband, wife, children. The second nuclear family, husband, wife, children, grandparents. The third nuclear family, husband, wife, children, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, etc. Isn't it? Now, I can expand the social direction to a whole community. I hope you got it. Starting with the core nuclear family. I can expand to a whole community. I can expand it on the business side also. Sole proprietorship. Are you getting it? Dual partnership, limited liability partnership. I can go to Section 8 company. I can go. In fact, I want you to understand that the Indian Railways is a unit of Indian society. Is a social unit of India. The government of India is a social unit of India. So you can have very large organizations. Tata Group is a social unit of India. Headquarters are here. They are legally bound here. I hope I'm not wrong. Have you understood the concept of social units? Where you go beyond the individual. I hope you got it. Okay. Private limited, public limited. You can go on and on and on. Okay. There's a third level which is important. Individual, social units, and the third level is a nation, a whole society, a civilization. I hope I'm clear. I hope all of you agree that a whole civilization wants to play the same game. A whole nation wants to play the same game. I'm on record and I'm telling you there's at least one nation on the planet which wants to have sustainable superiority. No prizes for guessing. And the fools don't know. I'm on record. It's not possible. Nothing, nobody can be sustainably superior on earth. History gives you evidence of what I'm saying. Fantastic evidence is there in history that nothing can remain permanently superior on earth, worldly context. I hope I'm clear. Correct, sir? Now I'm going to close this part before we move into the core now. Okay, the building, foundation is now almost complete. Okay, there's a seventh S. For individuals, the seventh S beyond this game, where you transcend the game, is spiritual realization and liberation. In some religions, you use the word salvation. They are not identical, but okay. There is a seventh S for social units, you can note it. It's called synergy. S-Y-N-E-R-G-Y. And there is a seventh S for society, nations, civilizations, and it is called Shanti. So this part I'm going to end with Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Because it's only in a peaceful society where the game can be played properly. It can't be played otherwise. I hope I'm clear. I'll take questions later, but I'm now coming into the learning part. Okay. Can I rub this off? Is it okay? Or can I try to reel off from my mind? You can write as I tell you. Try to do that. Okay, I'll keep this for the benefit of many other people. I'll just keep this. Okay, I'll try. Good, sir. No, but some of them, will you be able to see? Okay, I'll do that. Thank you very much. So do you agree we have answered the question, why education? Clear? Education, because this game has to be played by everybody. Not only that, it has to be played by individuals, social units and civilization. I hope there is a clean, logical answer to why education, therefore why learning also. Am I clear? As I told you earlier, I'm just closing with this. This framework can be used to answer the question, why do you do what you do? It answers the question, why you're sitting here. It answers the question, why am I here? Remember, dharma through your karma. Okay? I hope this is clear. We'll go further. I've answered the question, why learning. Now, what is learning? Where do we come into? Classroom. Okay, clear. Learning is the process by which the human being acquires knowledge to play the game. Is that clear? Teaching is the process by which the knowledge is imparted to a person to increase the potential of the person. See, remember, always in nature, things flow from a higher potential to a lower potential. The Shishya or the student is at a lower potential. The guru, the teacher, is at a higher potential in the context of education, in the context of learning. So higher potential to lower potential has to happen. So education is that process. Teaching, learning happens there, logically. Why learn? The game. Are you getting it? Okay. The three questions. Peace, dignity, grace and honor, struggle. Don't forget that. So I hope everything is falling into place now. Okay. Learning involves, the process of learning involves two cycles. Remember this because this is the game played in the classroom. I want you to appreciate that. Now we are diving into the classroom, from the game of life to the game of the classroom. Okay? We have time, don't worry. We are aram se we'll do this. My job, my dharma is to make you as clear as possible. And as I said, already promised, I am available even outside this, through email or whatever way. I don't mind sharing my mobile phone number also with you. Okay? Because my job is to ensure a peaceful you, your family, a peaceful nation, a peaceful world. This is my dharma. And our literature says you can even fight a war for long-term peace, the Mahabharata war. You can even fight a war to gain long-term peace. Why? Is the war real? Yeah, the war is real in the worldly context, not in the spiritual context. Please understand the difference. Okay, come. All learning starts with what is known as unconscious ignorance, UI. UI. Unconscious ignorance. Please note what I said. All learning starts from that point. And that point is characterized by, I don't know that I don't know. Please note carefully. I don't know that I don't know. That's exactly where the guru comes in. Because the guru's dharma is to take the Shishya from unconscious ignorance to the next stage, CI, conscious ignorance. I know that I don't know. And this is very important in the classroom and at homes. Please note, education does not happen only in the classroom. It is happening in the homes. And I want to share with you a truth of life. Every individual has only 4 contexts in life. Every individual, no exceptions. Context number 1, me alone. And why I am impressing on the context is simple. Because education and learning happen in every context, in each one of these 4. Me alone. Do you agree we can learn even when we are observing consciously the world around? Am I right or wrong? So me alone. Context number 2, me in family. Family means I'm with my people, my neighbors, etc. In family. I may be watching IPL match, I may be watching some serial. We are in family. We may be dining together. But agree we are learning constantly. Subconscious, many things are happening. Sir, right now, can you predict what's happening in my mind? Can I predict what's happening in your mind? Please understand, become humble. None of us can read somebody else's mind. So the ego that says I can read your mind is stupid. You cannot read. You can guess, that's okay. But it's only a guess. Context number 3, me at work. There you are surrounded by colleagues, your peer group, your superiors, your subordinates, your supply chain partners, etc. Correct? Context number 4, me in public. Right now, I am doing 2 things. I am at work and I am in public. I hope you agree. For everybody, only 4 contexts. Learning happens in these 4 contexts. I hope you got it. In these 4 contexts, we are taking people through this. From unconscious ignorance. Do you agree before the session, probably you did not know that you did not know the success framework? Am I right or wrong? Now I have told you. I have explained to you. You are definitely moved beyond conscious ignorance also. There was a stage when I was discussing this when you said, I know that I don't know. For example, would you have guessed these 6 S's right in the beginning? But do you agree, as I was trying to explain to you, you could have started guessing what's the next S, what's the next S? So right and wrong is not my point. That's a different point. You're struggling. That is more important. I don't know that I don't know. I know that I don't know. Incidentally, what I'm going to share with you, please take me, I'm on record, is good augmentation of the Bloom's taxonomy. I'm not saying Bloom's taxonomy is inadequate. I am telling you in terms of the process which I'm going to define to you based on our own traditional knowledge systems, according to me, is definitely superior to Bloom's taxonomy. I am asserting it's definitely superior. And when augmented with Bloom's taxonomy, we have a terrific resource for learning. So integrate the 2, then you will understand. I think all of you would have heard of Bloom's taxonomy. Because Delhi swears by Bloom's taxonomy. But unfortunately, they don't know that this model exists. Okay, come. From conscious ignorance, we're going to come to, this is called the macro cycle of learning on top. I'm going to take you down to micro cycle of learning in the classroom. Stage 1, how do I increase my knowledge? Conscious ignorance is, I know that I don't know. So basically, if I'm a very good student, I'm going to ask the teacher, make me know. So in fact, that's the first impetus to enable a student to be motivated to know. Are you understanding? Bring the student to a point where you are able to show the student that I know that you don't know. And I know that you need to know. I hope you got it. I know that you need to know because this is the game you have to play many years after I am dead and gone. You have to play the game. I told you, you don't have a choice. Remember, committing suicide is not an option. Adharmic. You can't say, I don't want to play the game, I'll get out. Sorry, adharmic. And our spiritual literature says, you'll come back, damn it. And you'll have to pay your prarabdha karma for what you did. I hope I'm clear. The game is crystal clear. The principles are crystal clear. Stage 1 in learning is awareness, A. A for awareness. The guru's job, the teacher's job is to create that awareness in the student. I hope you understand this. I have done that today. I've given you awareness of a concept called the success framework. Okay. Awareness means you can test the student for awareness, by the way. You can test the student. Is the student aware? Awareness is indicated by the ability to recognize, to label, to give general description, etc. How many of you are meeting me for the first time? How many of you physically? Are you understanding? How many of you are aware of L.S. Ganesh earlier without meeting me? Are you understanding? Probably. It's possible. That's okay. You don't need to feel good or bad about it. Everybody doesn't know everybody. Isn't it? Sir knows me for a few years now. It's all right. Are you getting it? Now, I'll ask a question. You're all aware. How many of you can describe me? What is the extent to which you can describe me? By the way, this is important in classroom and the lessons you teach. Check whether the students are aware of something. Are they able to recognize? Are they able to label? Are you understanding? Are you able to create a motivation in them to want to know? Please use the screens also for that purpose. Go their own way. Nothing wrong. Because if they are interested in something, find out why they are interested in what they are doing. Don't get stuck on. In fact, I want to plead the case. Enable them to learn to learn. This is important. You have to create in them the love for learning to learn. Yes, it is very important. You have to put that switch on. Because the moment you go doing the counter job, you're automatically creating a chasm between you and the student, automatically. The student will say, I'm going to slip into Tamil, but I'll translate for all of you. Nee koora mari koovu, na pandra mari pandren. You know, you do what you want, I'll do what I want. And you'll think that I'm doing what you want. I'm not. Basically, student is saying, get lost. Don't take the student to that extreme. That's what I'm pleading. So, creating curiosity to learn is the job of the teacher. It's the dharma of the teacher. It's part of the dharma of the teacher. It's an integral part of the dharma of the teacher. I hope that's clear. Is this clear? Have you understood how to test for awareness? I could have tested you straight away today. Are you aware of success framework? Success framework, what the hell is that? That means I've brought you to conscious ignorance. I know that I don't know the success framework. Are you understanding? So naturally, your curiosity will rise to something. This is natural to all people, even youngsters. Okay. You see how children learn nowadays. It's amazing. How they learn is amazing, really. Unfortunately, there are so many millions of children in India who have no access to teachers who can inspire them and motivate them. It's a tragedy of our country. We have to help the situation. Okay. Stage 2 in the micro cycle of learning. Now this learning is happening is to enhance the knowledge of the student to F for familiarity. And the test for familiarity is what is the extent to which you can describe something. See, in awareness, you're coming to what's known as gross description. Like, do you agree you can go and describe LS Ganesh to somebody at home? This guy is like this, he has dark skin, he wears specs, he's got white hair. You can describe. Are you understanding? There are things which you cannot describe. You can't describe my personality. You have not moved with me as a friend. So you won't know. You won't know what's my favorite food. You won't know what's my favorite music. Are you understanding? Am I clear? Okay, fine. Yeah, familiarity happens when you gain more and more information, data, information and knowledge about, by the way, that's another subject in data analysis. Data, information, knowledge, wisdom, and something else beyond, which I'll come to. Yeah, direct. Yeah, you get familiarity. See, now do you agree before the session and now you're a little more familiar with me? I mean, I'll ask a simple question to test you. To what extent do you think on a scale of 0 to 10, I am a liberal person? I'm asking you to make that estimate. Estimation is a part of familiarity. Estimation is an action verb, by the way, in Bloom's taxonomy. To estimate is a skill the student should have. To describe is a skill that the student must have. Are you understanding? To guess is a skill that you must have. I hope I'm clear. These are action verbs, actually. Okay. What is your estimate? Where will you put me on 0 to 10? I know there need not be a standard answer. Where will you put me, sir? On a scale of liberal, to what extent am I liberal? In your guess. 3. 2. Oh my God, you don't know me then. You ask my students, they'll tell you, sir, is there a point beyond 10? I'm not bluffing. Many students know me. I'm absolutely liberal. I have never put down a student in my class. Never. Because my dharma is to be for the student. So no question is a stupid question for me. Any question is okay. Are you getting it? This is important. Okay. So that's very good. Now I'm not going to make you ask a very difficult question, which you may not know. How many children do I have? You won't answer the question because you're only aware of me. You're not aware of my family. Are you understanding? Now do you understand the difference between awareness and familiarity? In familiarity, your knowledge content of that entity is higher. Okay. For example, sir knows at least one answer. How many children do I have? Yeah. He knows one daughter. So he said one daughter. Answer is partly correct. I have 2 daughters. He has met the first daughter. Do you agree? So he is, obviously, I'm showing you an example. He is more familiar than you about me. Am I right or wrong? There's nothing good or bad about it. He's just friends for some. If he asks the reverse question, I won't be able to answer. Familiar. Are you understanding this? Clear now? Familiarity is a part of the learning stage. What is the extent to which you can describe something, elaborate upon something, even if possible, make early gross predictions of something. These are all tests of familiarity. Am I clear? So I'm telling you what to test also. Okay. Third stage, which is very important, is understanding. Understanding. And understanding is marked by the extent to which the student can explain something. Because if you have really understood something, you have to explain that something. Am I clear? Labeling, description, explanation. Am I clear? Okay, you're going to enable the person to answer the question why, not just how and what. Clear, sir? There is one more fantastic stage which is very critical called I for internalization. Now, these three belong to what we call as smaranam, mananam, and internalization is called nididhyasanam. Okay. I is the step that takes you to mastery. Mastery, not even expertise. Mastery means going beyond far expertise, deep expertise. Am I clear? Internalization means what you know becomes a part of your breath and your blood flow. I hope you got it. You've gone far beyond awareness, familiarity, and it's not only explaining. Please note this, sir. Labeling, recognizing, describing, elaborating, explaining, controlling. If you understood something, the extent to which you control marks your understanding of that. Are you understanding? Here you're going into not only this, predicting and designing and creating. I hope I'm clear. In internalization, you've got that level of mastery where you start predicting and creating and controlling also. I hope you got it. And designing. Yeah, all these are demonstrative. You're right. Sir, awareness has to be demonstrated. That's why I said test. Familiarity has to be demonstrated. Like he demonstrated now. You have one daughter. He demonstrated. His answer was not wrong. He doesn't know that I have a second daughter. That's a different point, sir. And I'm very proud of both my daughters. Are we clear? Both my daughters. Are we clear? Now, this is what takes you to back to the macro cycle. Internalization is what takes you to the macro cycle into what is known as conscious mastery. CM, conscious mastery. As you internalize more and more, you become a master of what you have internalized. Am I clear? So my plea to all of you is combine these with the action verbs of Bloom's taxonomy. Integrate Bloom's taxonomy's action verbs with this model. I would say you have a terrific resource to support learning in the school, in the classrooms. This is a very important discipline in learning which India has, unfortunately, if I may use Tamil words, Katadi Uttam. Kati Patan. You know, Gaya. We are not bothered about internalization. And internalization is boring, I can tell you that much. Because it means doing it again and again. And you can understand something, only internalization, again and again and again, gives you true freedom. Please understand this. Real freedom in action comes from internalization. And that freedom comes because you're so damn good at what you're doing. I hope I'm clear. I'll explain. Imagine a great singer. Do you agree? Because they've practiced again and again and again one ragam or raga, internalization, in any concert they can go and deliver the raga the way they want. on the spot, spontaneously. Am I right or wrong? You think that would have happened without internalization? Impossible. Do you agree? Vaibhav Suryavanshi now, the great kid who's batting, has done tremendous internalization at that age of his batting. He seems to be scoring at will. I hope all of you agree. Sachin Tendulkar must have done dramatic amounts of internalization. You can't become great in your bowling or your batting without internalization. I'm giving you games as example, music as example. You can take anything. You can even take cooking as example. That there are many things which we can't cover. I'm nearing the end of what we have to say. Is this clear? Beyond conscious mastery, there is another stage. Unfortunately, there is no this thing. I want you to note it. You can write it as USCM, subconscious mastery. Some people call it unconscious mastery. I won't do unconscious. Unconscious means something else. And in Indian traditions, my dear friends, I want you to know, there is a stage beyond subconscious mastery, and that stage is called silence. You're so damn good at what you're doing that you're just silent. I hope I'm clear. This is what happens in learning. And this is what you're supposed to accomplish in the classroom. Okay. Now, the game is not over. There's something more. Yes, sure, sir.
If somebody has already acquired mastery
Ah.
at the internalization stage, what next is the subconscious mastery?
No, because you're so damn good at it, you keep on internalizing. This is an endless process, Captain. It's an endless process of your life. Are you understanding? And this is the process that makes you fulfill the dharma for others.
Subconscious is going beyond that.
Hey, I told you, silence. The last stage is silence. You become the ultimate guru. If you want to put it in a different word, Ramana Maharshi of Thiruvannamalai. I hope you know, many people have commented on him. He was known as the silent guru. Of course, not that he never spoke, but very often, if you read about Ramana Maharshi, it's very fascinating. People have commented that we go with a lot of questions, we look at this man and we come out with answers. He's not talking, we are getting the damn answers. I'm sure Lord Jesus must have been of that type. I'm not talking of Hinduism, Christianity, etc. I'm telling you there are people who have transcended their human form. That is the point I'm making. They've gone beyond their human form. Perhaps Prophet Muhammad, I don't know much, that's why I'm not commenting. Okay. And if you hear about stories about our Avadutas like Sadashiva Brahmendra and all, it's mind-blowing actually. Where they demonstrated the powers of the spirit, not just humans. You learn about them. We have had these extraordinary people on our land. And don't forget, Ramana Maharshi died in 1950, last century. It's not even long ago. So I hope you got the thing. He had the answers, not that he never had the answers, but he didn't need to speak to give some answers. You just look at it and say, wow, something is coming. And this is real because hundreds of people have testified, not one or two. I hope I'm clear. So this is the game you play in the class. Now I'm coming to something, few more minutes. You have to test the student on 4 things. Please test the student on 4 things. Number 1, memory. Memory is important. If somebody says memorizing is not important, they're fools. They don't know what they're talking. Memory is important. And memory is a basis for internalization, by the way. Is a firm basis for internalization. I hope I'm clear. So never underplay memory. But don't focus only on memory. That's the other side. Okay? You have to be careful. Memory means you test them for recall. Recall is of two types. Unassisted recall and assisted recall. Assisted recall means you give them clues. CLUES. You agree you can enable jogging the memory of somebody by some clues? You know this, you know that. Second is application. I'm telling you what to test the student for. And I have some more coming. Application means utilizing your knowledge in one context in another context. To give you an example so that you understand, is swimming in a village well the same as swimming in a swimming pool? Do you understand the social settings are different? In a village well, you are swimming with your friends. In a swimming pool, there are going to be a lot of people, me in public. It's not me in family. Is it same as swimming in a river? Is it same as swimming in the ocean? Do you understand? But do you agree if you are a good swimmer, at least you learn to float in some of the other contexts? Minimum. This is called application. How I use my knowledge and expertise in one context in a different context. Related, but different context. Application is also unassisted and assisted. I'll give you an example. I learned to drive the car because I learned to drive the scooter first with gears. Are you understanding, sir? I'm taking you back many years. I learned to drive the scooter with gears. I had a Vijay scooter long ago. So I knew how to change the gears. Car also same gears except that it